How to get perfect sleep using one simple solution. So mate, you're probably here because, to be truthful, you're pissed off you haven't had a good night's sleep in ages, or you haven't been able to get a consistent, reliable sleep routine dialed in. But listen to me when I say this, the real reason your magnesium and your blackout blinds aren't doing shit to solve your problem is none of these surface level solutions work because they don't address the real reason your sleep is cooked. So, just quickly, everything in this video is educational, not medical advice. I'm not a doctor, and the compound we're discussing is not FDA approved for human use. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional. Okay, now that's done, let's get into it. So, there's a gland in your brain that runs the entire timing of your sleep, and there's one compound with over 30 years of research that's been studied specifically for rejuvenating that gland and resetting your master body clock. It's called Epitalon, and in this video I'm going to break down exactly how it works and what the published dosing protocols look like, so you can have an informed decision with your doctor about whether it makes sense for you. So, let's get into it. Now, think back to when you were a kid or even a teenager. You'd hit the pillow and you were out. Bang. Dead to the world, 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep. Heavy sleep, no tossing and turning, no wake up at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling, you just slept. And then you'd wake up and feel like an absolute machine the next day, ready to go, no alarm needed, no coffee needed, pure energy. And it wasn't a coincidence, and it wasn't because you had less stress or fewer responsibilities. That was your pineal gland working perfectly. Now, your pineal gland is a tiny gland in the middle of your brain, about the size of a grain of rice. And its main job is producing melatonin. And melatonin is a signal that tells your body when to sleep and when to wake up. So when you were young, this gland was firing on all cylinders. Melatonin production was high, your body clock was locked in, so sleep was effortless because the system was running exactly how it was designed to run. And here's what no one is actually talking about, and that is, as you age, your pineal gland starts to calcify, it hardens, like calcium deposits building up inside a pipe, and when it does, melatonin production tanks. Now, your body clock, when this happens, it loses its signal. Cortisol, your stress hormone, it stops following its natural rhythm. And this is why sleep gets worse as you get older. It's not in your head, it's not in your mind, and it's not because you're more stressed. The hardware that controls sleep is literally breaking down. And so here's the thing, no amount of magnesium, melatonin gummies, or blackout blinds can fix a calcified pineal gland. That's like putting new tires on a car with a blown engine. Now, the accessories aren't the issue, the engine is. And so this is where Epitalon comes in, and from what the research shows, it is genuinely in a different league to anything else out there. So number one, research shows it reduces pineal calcification and normalizes hormone production, mainly melatonin. Now think of your pineal gland like a rusty tap. Over time it's been clogged up and it can barely get any water through, Epitalon cleans it out so it flows properly again. Then there's number two. Now, it raises nighttime melatonin output, which forces your master clock to return to its preferred day-night cycle. This is a big one, because your body wants to sleep when it's dark and it wants to be awake when it's light. It already knows how to do this. The signal just isn't getting through anymore, and Epitalon turns that signal back on. And then number three, it appears to fine-tune your cortisol, which is your stress hormone. And right now, yours is probably flat all day, which is why you feel dead in the morning, but your brain won't shut up at 2 a.m. Now, the research shows that Epitalon resets this back to how it should be. High in the morning, so you actually wake up with energy, and then low at night, so your body can actually wind down naturally. And when cortisol is doing its job properly, everything gets easier. Your mood, your focus, your ability to actually relax, all on point. Now, I want to show you the dosing protocol, because this is the part you're going to want to say. And again, I'm not a doctor, this is not medical advice. Now, here's something that is really important that most people online are getting wrong. You see, the protocols floating around saying 5 to 10 milligrams a day, that dosing came from the original trials. But those trials used epithalamine, which is a crude extract from bovine pineal glands. Now, this is not the same thing as synthetic Epitalon. And a 2003 monkey study compared both of these directly, epithetamine at 5 milligrams per day and synthetic Epitalon at just 10 micrograms per day. Same result, and that's a 500-fold difference. And in a 2025 review confirmed that epithetamine requires roughly 1,000-fold higher doses than synthetic Epitalon to match the effects. So what does the actual data on synthetic Epitalon show? Now, a human trial on 75 women showed sublingual Epitalon at 500 mcg per day that's just 0.5 milligrams for 20 days, melatonin synthesis increased 1.6-fold versus placebo. Circadian gene expression shifted significantly at half a milligram a day. So if you're using synthetic Epitalon, the research supports 500 mcg to 1 milligram daily for 10 to 20 days. Now, the reason the dose is so low is because of how this compound works. It's a signaling switch, okay? Once that signal is received, more does not mean it's better. It doesn't do more. So you're not forcing something to happen. You're flipping the switch back on, and once that switch is back on, it's on. So you still must cycle this, don't run it continuously, because the research is clear on this. If you constantly use this and you stimulate the same receptor pathways, it leads to the compound losing its effectiveness. And that's the last thing you want when dealing with melatonin receptors. You need to let the system reset. And if you need to, come back to it in 6 months, 6 months, 7, 8 months, if needed. Now, I'll link the studies in the description so you can check them out yourself. Now, another important note from the literature is proper hydration is crucial. A lot of metabolites accumulate, so water and electrolytes are a must to stay on top of. When you achieve proper good sleep consistently, here is what is going to happen to your body every night. Now, your brain is going to run its cleanup crew, so it flushes out waste and toxic buildup in your brain tissue. It's your lymphatic system. And without this happening, brain fog and cognitive decline aren't a maybe, they are absolutely guaranteed. I'm seeing it all over the place. Now, your body releases growth hormone in sharp pulses. This is your nightly repair system, muscle recovery, tissue repair, bone density, even how your body handles blood sugar. All of that runs on growth hormone, and it only fires properly during deep sleep. And your heart, your heart rate drops, your blood pressure lowers, and your cardiovascular system gets a service check every single night. Now, your immune system also benefits from this. It syncs up. It coordinates its entire defense schedule around your sleep cycle. So bad sleep doesn't just make you tired, it makes you sick more often. People always wonder, why am I getting more sick? This is why. This is one of the reasons why. And cortisol, it starts to follow its natural arc, high in the morning and low at night. So no more wide at midnight and useless at noon. So as you can see, this isn't a nice to have. Your body literally cannot perform without this happening every night. Sleep is the foundation. Everything else is built on. And so the bottom line is the research on Epitalon and the pineal gland rejuvenation is fascinating. And once you fix the master clock, the published data suggests energy, focus, mood, recovery, they all start falling back into place. And so you're not treating a symptom, you're resetting the system that controls everything else. You're going downstream. So if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button. And if you want to know more about peptides, how they work, different protocols, and that the research has proven to be effective, then subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.